And good evening, welcome back to another playthrough of Persona 4 Arena, live and exclusive to YouTube. I am your host, Swishbone, for the remainder of the evening. For those of you who have never been here before, this is all about blind live Let's Plays where we give a lot of comments and bad jokes all in the chat box, that away. So if you have anything you want to get in there, do what you can. I'll try and interact with you all. For those of you who have been here before, whether you've been here for the previous playthroughs of this game, maybe you've been watching the recent playthrough of Dishonored, you were here for all the Persona and Danganronpa games previously, maybe even the old school streams like Final Fantasy VII, all the wonderfully obtuse such as Doki Doki Literature Club and Song of Memories. Either way, a huge welcome back, and that includes you, Avian, in the chat box saying you made it early for a change. Well, good evening to you. And so how was it? Our weekend of motorsport was amazing. It's this weekend that we're going away to the con, so that's going to be another 2 streams, and then we are going to be going away for some weekend of nerding out and plenty of gaming and anime. 90% incomplete indeed, Avian. We're getting very close indeed, and we're going to kick up by carrying on the story of Mitsuru, the heiress of the Kirijo Group, mega corporation and member of SEAS, ended for the Tsumi Port Island incident. While she's beautiful and popular, she's also aloof with her persona Artemisia. Yes, let's go.
I wish you good luck.
Ironically, she said that after I did. She said exactly the same thing I did.
Why are there 2 of her?
It's actually a good shot, I like that. Where you have the shadow Labrys standing over the real Labrys. I think that's really cool.
I am a shadow. The true self.
It's Miss President's shadow.
I'm taking the real one with me. I'll never let you catch me.
Yeah, save it all for next week. We'll have plenty of stories, Avian. Including the story of my panel, which is happening on Sunday, believe it or not, 1:30 in the afternoon. I've got no way of streaming it, unfortunately, but I'm going to see if it's possible for me to find a way to record it, because if I can, I will put that up on the channel. Labrys Estella gives me a glare of pure malice for carrying off the original and fleeing the scene. I almost chased after her without thinking, but I stopped myself and reconsider. That second Labrys, who was that? Everything I thought I knew has been overturned by this turn of events.
What is she? You seem to know.
First tell me something. Why was she in so much pain? What's all this about Labrys and weapons?
I say, Avian, I'd love to make it possible for you all to see it as well, so I'm going to have to look to see if I can find a way to do it. I've got a lot that I'm taking with me. I can take a video camera, I suppose. It might be possible. I'd have to see if I've got enough storage space for it. We'll give it a shot.
I'm sorry, but that's classified. It's not for civilian ears.
Then I won't tell you anything about her.
Well played, Rise. Well, that's classified. Oh, well, so's my information then. Now what are you going to do?
If you want to know what I know, you have to tell me what you know first.
Well, I'll give Rise applauders. I normally find her quite annoying, but massive props to her here. That may have sounded too much like I don't care if she's in pain. It would be unreasonable to demand that she tells me everything she knows without offering something in return. And she's already seen Labrys' true form, so I give a small sigh.
Well, I suppose you're involved now. Alright, her official name is 5th Generation Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon. Codenamed Labrys. She is an android weapon created by the Kirijo Group years ago. In order to use persona abilities, she was given a heart.
She's a machine? Kuchikawa's shocked expression conveys her thoughts as perfectly as if she'd spoken aloud.
We couldn't let her run free. Just look at the troubles she's caused. We came to retrieve her and minimize any damages.
I hold back no details in telling her the cruel experiments she must have underwent during her development. Meanwhile, Exeter Queen jumping in saying hello, good evening to you, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. How have you been? Kuchikawa takes it all in and quietly sighs.
So when she said she didn't want to remember, that's what that was about. Hey, why didn't you listen to what she was trying to say? She said that she didn't want to remember, but you kept pushing your demands on her and making her feel bad.
That's...
I pause, considering her accusation. She may be right. And I'm absolutely fine. I've got 2 more days of work, and then I'm getting ready to go to the con, a SunnyCon at Newcastle, where I've got my panel on Sunday at 1:30 in the afternoon. Before that, though, me and Nerdy Hound have a hilarious journey to get there. Thank you, train strikes on Thursday. What should have been a nice, easy cruise down to my local train station and 1 train change now involves 3 buses, a coach, and God knows what else. I'm not looking forward to that. I mean, Snowbeaver, good evening to you. You say you managed to get yourself banned from Mickey Bab's shop. I'm from the north of England. To get banned from those places, you must have done something very, very bad. Indeed. I was so desperate to put an end to this case that I didn't listen to what Labrys had to say.
You gave her a heart because you needed her to have one, and then kept treating her like that. No wonder she's in pain.
I agree with you completely, Exital. Yes, the train strike is a nightmare. It's like this week, as of now, until Monday, you might as well write train travel off because nothing's going to work. Nothing. And it does suck, Avian. I agree with you. Tears stream from the girl's eyes. As angry as she is, she's crying for Labrys. Even after seeing her true mechanical form and learning that she's a weapon. Kujikawa has nothing but compassion for Labrys.
Why are you siding with Labrys so much?
I heard her voice a few times. It sounded like it was from her past. She said she was forced to fight when she didn't want to. That she was hurt and afraid.
I see. Kujikawa had also heard the voice just as I did when she used her persona. Kujikawa slowly tells me about what happened last year, the reasons why she came to Inaba. How due to her career as an idol, she was cut off from those who knew her for who she was, leaving her isolated. How when she had lost faith in everything, she had met people who believed in her, saving her life. Yes, she lost faith, people, not faith. I've got to really get my public speaking on for the rest of this week. I've got to get some practice in. If I can't get save faith and save face, how the hell am I going to last for an hour talking to a crowd of maybe 2 people?
Someone to believe in, huh?
Hearing that brought up again is a sore point for me.
She's Miss President's shadow.
I told Kujikawa the details I previously said I couldn't reveal.
Kujikawa?
The repressed desires you don't want to admit? Here, they take on a life of their own.
So that's why. Then what's her ultimate goal? Why did she take Labrys?
Shadows. They try to become real. It confronts the original with weaknesses to make them deny that the shadow's part of them. Also, it can take their place.
I see. Then there's no time to lose.
Do you think you can save her? A shadow doesn't disappear until the original person accepts it.
That's why I must believe in her and support her. Even if it's left unsaid, I still understand Kujikawa's desire. I share it.
Kujikawa, let me amend my earlier statement. I didn't come here just to minimize the damage. I came to save everyone. Will you trust me on that?
She looks into my eyes, and after wiping her face with a handkerchief, she nods slightly.
Make sure you listen to what Labrys wants to say this time, okay?
I fully intend to.
Kujikawa smiles in embarrassment. She apologizes to me for taking such a spiteful tone. Yet making such a spiteful tone. I'm really not doing good so far. I'm fluffing my lines worse than ever. I'm just grateful there's no additives in my coffee this time. Yes, Avian, I do not forget. I can tell she's being honest and sincere. Kujikawa promises to cooperate as much as possible for Labrys' sake. I decide to have her contact her friends and pass on a simple explanation of the situation. She agrees and adds that she'll try to contact Akihiko and Aigis as well. She seems to have already gasped how our safeguards against detection by personas work.
Speaking with you made me understand something important. Thank you for that.
Right, so Snow, you essentially had a slow order, cancelled it, and am I right in thinking that the other guy didn't know, so he got banned for that? I mean, having seen people have, like, knife fights in kebab shops and still be able to get the food, I don't know where you were in the world to get banned for that. But then again, I'm from the north of England, and weekend in the north is pretty rowdy. Depending on where you go.
It must be that smile of yours that catches your audience's heartstrings.
Promise me then. Make sure you come back with her.
Spurred on by her words, I begin running to where I detect Labrys ought to be. Though I don't yet have a plan to save her. If I find her again and listen this time, will that truly be enough to save Labrys? It might be. So far it's been up and down, to say the least. The invisible walls are still here, leading me to the music room. According to the guide map, it should have been further away, but just as with the announcement room, the layout of this version of the school is off.
Who are you?
Someone else is already inside. He frowns upon seeing me. I recognize his face from the video. If the walls are still here, does that mean the Grand Prix rules are still being enforced? As a test, I hold out to the space where I just entered the room.
It seems we're locked in. The rule against proceeding without fighting is still in effect.
Well, if they made the food after cancelling your order, Snobbeaver, that's their problem. I mean, at the end of the day, if they're not capable of cancelling an order, then they're not capable of making an order. So, to be honest, even if they just said you were still allowed to go there, I wouldn't go back anyway.
Are you Kirijo-san by any chance? Rise got in touch with me.
I am indeed Mitsuru Kirijo. As I recall, you were the sister no, your name was Narukami.
No, Mitsuru. Say it like it is. The sister complex kingpin of steel, you Narukami!
There doesn't seem to be anything scrambling our senses. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't sense any noise, but it can't hurt to ask. He nods, showing that he understands the question.
Risa told me you were out to save Miss President. Labrys, her name was?
That's right. But I must act swiftly. There's no noise here because our enemy thinks we'll be hesitant to fight in our right minds. Would you mind conceding? I don't want to drag you into this any further.
That's very domineering of Mitsuru, isn't it? Yeah, so we don't have to fight, so lie down. I win.
I understand, but I can't do it like that.
Narukami gives a wry smile before his expression flattens again.
If the rules are still in effect, my friends are still trapped. They still need someone to rescue them. I fought battles I didn't want and taken on a lot of responsibilities, which includes saving Labrys, of course. It's not that I don't believe you, but I don't think it's right to simply hand the burden over to someone I just met.
I see.
Sorry, this must be frustrating to you.
No, don't misunderstand me. I have no objections. I admire your willingness. With the final battle awaiting ahead, perhaps it's best that the stronger of us two should be the one to proceed.
The atmosphere in the area changes. Narukami senses it as well and readies his weapon. It's strange, but he reminds me of someone. Yes, I wonder who he reminds you of. He uses a sword, has a very calm demeanour and swagger. All the girls want him. It's protagonist powers versus Marin Karin. That's not a fair fight. Although his fighting stance, physique and features are completely different. He still reminds me of the one who saved us, the entire world.
I like the look in your eyes. I will test your resolve with my sword.
So it's sword on sword. It's the Chad versus the Dom. I may actually break out my Yu Narukami cosplay for the Sunnycon panel because I don't want to do that panel while dressed as one of the characters from Love Live. It doesn't work with 90s anime. Finally. I was afraid that was going to be a complete shutout. Wow. That wasn't even close to fair. That was cheap. That's one of the cheapest victories I've ever had.
I've won. I will move on.
Yeah, you won, but you weren't exactly playing fair. All thanks to me. I'm going to shut up now. I held out my hand to Narukami, who collapsed on the floor, and helped him up. Fortunately, I won the match. Although in fighting these people, I have come to see them in a new light.
But first, I have something to ask you.
In this world, to encounter another leads to an immediate win or lose situation. That's why I had intended to limit my interactions with others. All I felt regarding these students was regret for dragging them into this mess. But in order to be sure I can save Labrys, I feel that I'll need their help. Since they have more experience with this world, they are most likely closer to settling this.
You said that you want to save Labrys too, but you barely know her. She isn't human and has been through things that aren't easy to understand. What were you going to do for her when you found her?
Narukami quietly closes his eyes before answering.
Nothing in particular, but I could have stood at her side at the very least.
All he'd do is say that he's the king.
At her side.
A number of things dawned on me with Narukami's words. Though I had resolved to fight by myself, I wasn't truly alone. I had family and friends who supported me. But Labrys was alone. She fought against the same units who shared her fate, and after escaping in this world, she had no one. I see. I understand now. He politely underlined something important I had overlooked. He's not the first to show me a new perspective like this. This warm sensation that spreads within me. Oh god, here we go! The Chad's even made Mitsuru hot under the collar! Seriously, Narukami is the king. He is the king of Chad. I understand now. That's why Narukami reminded me of him.
You really do remind me of an old friend.
I do?
Yes. Though he's more than just a friend. I owe my life to him.
I attempt to contact Fujikawa again. When she responds, I give her another request. She eagerly agrees, and Narukami, who's listening in, nods his satisfaction. That music can only mean one thing. Aigis is coming, because that's Heartful Cry.
Well then, I'll be going now. To save Labrys.
There is no hesitation now. I have seen what must be done. I must go forth to keep my promise with them. Labrys will be saved. I'm certain of that now. In order to pursue the escaped shadow, I stopped briefly in an attempt to locate it with my persona. It's on the move, but it's headed to the... Ah!
Fujikawa, can you hear me? The shadow is headed to the announcement room again.
I've already picked up on her and got out. Also, I've managed to reach your friends. I was just talking to someone named Aigis.
I told you she was coming. Fujikawa says she's never tried to contact multiple people at once, but with a little practice, she's picked up the knack. Her persona support skills are advanced indeed. In contrast to my own inability to contact my friends against this noise without linking my persona to communicator, she easily located Akihiko and Aigis. Really, she's quite talented. And she said that with that smirking look on her face. Now you see, this particular pose of Mitsuru's, I've actually seen it used as a meme for the amount of times that she's using like Marin Karen. It has like a regular version of her saying, "What's the matter, little fella?" Then it cuts to this picture and just goes, "Low HP." And I'm like, yes. And you know Dioran. Heal me.
Aigis, can you hear me? I need you to keep Fujikawa safe.
Understood.
The shadow's presence is nearby. I retrace my steps to the announcement room and throw open the door. I'm ready to win this.
My. You've come. Sorry, but you're too late.
I'm loving that little sarcastic, "Sorry, but you're too late." It's that kind of arrogance that I just think is amazing.
You really helped me out, though. You were pretty hard on this girl, weren't you?
The expression drains from Labrys' face as she mutters angrily at herself. The shadows must be hammering at Labrys' psyche in order to have Labrys deny herself.
Look me. We've got a guest. This human's here to take us back.
Absolutely, Avian, yes. MC falls on the floor and then she's just like, obey my command! Marrying Karen.
She'll never understand how we feel. A typical human. Stop! Don't say any more!
Labrys.
I step between Labrys and her shadow and draw my weapon. That's actually a really cool piece of art. I like the design there. Especially the way that Mitsuru's, rapier catches the red light. Almost turns it into a lightsaber. It's actually a really cool design. The shadow looks at me and her face boils over with hatred.
What's this all about? Oh, of course. It would be a problem if she were destroyed while you were retrieving her, huh?
And also, good evening to you, Arista Jack. How are you doing, mate?
Retrieve? No. This has got nothing to do with me. How long are you gonna lie to yourself? It's about time you face reality. You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through, right? That's why we're in a school having a fighting tournament.
No, Snowbaber, I haven't played the Zero Skate games yet. They're a future plan for a stream. I would like to do them, but I'd rather do them on stream rather than play them off stream.
You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand. That ain't true! But it didn't work. Kirito marched in here and spoiled your fun. It's alright though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did. No! That ain't what I want! You're...
The shadow smirk widens at Labrys' protestations.
You're not me!
Yep, Mitsuru is just, oh, for fuck's sake. In the words of CJ, here we go again. Labrys' rejection seems to have crossed some line. I can sense the shadow's power rising dramatically in response to her words.
That's right. I'm myself. I'm free. Even if I'm a misunderstood machine. I'll escape from all this. Yes, the power.
It's gone berserk. But there should still be time. I'll make you settle down.
I support Labrys, who slumped over, and make my intentions plain.
What's with you, you hypocrite? The way you've been acting pisses me off. How can you be so kind to her? No matter what you do, it won't erase your sins.
That's interesting with the shadow calling out the sin side of it. I quite like that, it's different.
Fine. Since you're a Kirito, why not tell me exactly what your family did to me? What they made me do?
The shadow thrusts her weapon towards me as if sentencing me to judgment. The idea is someone sentencing Mitsuru, the executioner, to judgment. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of Makoto players who were annoyed at her casting Marin Karen who were like, I'm the first witness!
Remember those spectating students? What did you think those human-shaped silhouettes were?
For a moment, her unexpected shift in topics catches me off guard.
Those were shadows, too. Shadows of the prototypes you made her destroy. When they were destroyed, their information was transferred to the victor. What's left of their hearts remains deep inside Labrys.
Now, as cool an idea as that is, we're not seeing those shadows do anything, which is disappointing.
That's right. They all have a soul. But fully developed. Their shadows helped her play school after they separated from her. Do you see? Those spectators you saw everywhere were her sisters she had to kill at the Kirito group's orders.
I'm at a loss of words. I can only stand there, speechless.
I haven't forgotten. I'll never let their memories or their pain go. I won't forgive anyone who tries to take my freedom.
Her anger. It's justified. It's natural for her to hold a grudge after what we did to them.
I acknowledge your anger and grief. Setting things right here is my way of atoning. This fight will release you from your curse once and for all.
I almost felt like I was going into Castlevania and talking about I'm going to fight to free someone from a curse. I'm not expecting this fight to be able to do the same strategy as last time, but I'll try it anyway. Wow. Is Mitsuru the most overpowered fighter in this game? She was impossible to block. And when she was blocking, she was still getting through the guard. I feel dirty. I feel really cheap. After a fierce battle. No, it wasn't. It was the most one-sided arse stomping I've seen in years. The shadow finally falls silent and stops resisting entirely. I go to elevate Labrys to help bring her around. When she regains consciousness, she looks at me with sorrow and resignation.
Am I gonna be alone again? What am I saying? Of course I am. After all I've done.
No. No one will lock you away ever again.
Huh?
I thought I had a firm grasp on things. But in the end, all I did was drive you into a corner. I'm sorry.
Why is a Kirito apologizing to a machine? I mean, I hurt people. Dragged them into my own mess. I'm just like I was before. There ain't no reason to forgive me.
That is solely your opinion.
Huh?
Kujikawa, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Is that Rise-san?
That's right. You've met her too, and...
It seems Kujikawa accomplished what I asked of her earlier. I wanted to use her persona ability to connect the voices of her friends directly to Labrys. Some of them I've met, while some I don't know at all. In truth, some of them may find it hard to forgive Labrys for dragging them into this, even after learning of her circumstances. But I believe in them.
To tell the truth, I only saw you for a second, so I ain't really sure what's going on. But it seemed like you went through a lot. Anyway, hope things start looking up.
Well, stars you mean to go on, I guess.
It's way too simple. Can't you think of anything better to say?
Hey, it ain't simple at all. I know damn well how tough it is to see a shadow come out of yourself.
Yeah, we've all been through the same thing, so we'd suck pretty bad if we didn't forgive you.
It cost me a lot of trouble, but it was still kind of fun.
Oops, I accidentally cut him off then. Wait, hang on, why am I apologising for cutting his head off? I did you all a favour. They know how to accept someone for who they are, regardless of her looks. That's why even though Labrys is a machine, they will surely welcome her. I'm confident of it. And indeed, they respond to Labrys with more warmth than I thought.
What we saw wasn't the whole picture, right? That's just how our hearts are.
I concur. None of us can cast stones after you've gone through the hardship of facing your shadow.
That aside, I'm just glad you're okay. I was worried about you. I left you alone knowing you couldn't use a persona.
Labrys, when you come back, we should talk.
Senpai's right. And not just us. Sister? Can you hear me? I too would like to talk with you. There's something I'd like to tell you. You may know it already, but still.
The voice is chiming in are gentle, kind, and warm. I can't help but be touched as well. Oh, the Ice Queen Molotov people! Mitsuru's finally going to show some emotion. My words alone could not have accomplished this.
You guys. Why?
You are a machine, unlike us. That is undeniably true.
Well, not technically, because Aigis is there as well, so you're using the wrong form of us.
There will be days to come when you are tormented by solitude and caged by your own weakness. But one thing will be very different. Starting today, you are not alone.
Whether she's machine or human has no bearing on her suffering. To be crushed under the weight of despair, with seemingly no end to the pain, feeling that one cannot go any further. I'm no stranger to those feelings myself. It was always someone else, such as friends and family, who saved me. But when you're alone, it's difficult to see a way out. You can't find it unless someone else shows you. That's when you learn the extraordinary power derived from one's relationships.
Companionship is the greatest guide. In my mission here, I've come to be reminded of that.
So there it is, people. The most tropish thing in anime.
Guide for you as well. If you're not alone, you can stand to face the most painful of truths.
Yep, I accidentally started moving the dialogue on, but I was about to say, yep, there it is, the oldest trope of all. Draw power from your friends. To be fair, it's a very important message.
Face the truth.
Labrys' gaze turns towards her own shadow. There is no more fear in her eyes. She understands now.
I see. I get it now.
I watch over her as she stands up. No words pass between us, but I am here for her, and that may be enough. Exactly, Exeter, yes, the power of friendship, the heart of the cards, and all those classic tropes. And we all love them, come on. We're fooling no one trying to be edgy and saying it's all bollocks. Or I say I'm fooling no one.
I'm sorry I ignored you all this time. I was the one who left you all alone. No, you are me, after all. This is my persona.
Yes, that's true, actually. Yes, the villain hisses in fear the moment it starts. You're not wrong. I will say, these anime scenes, for a game that came out 10 years ago, they look excellent. They look really high quality. And it's on DVD as well, not Blu-ray format.
Labrys and Kirijo-san.
Hang on, what are we doing on the roof? When did we get up here? We were in the announcement room 2 seconds ago. What the hell's just happened? Who teleported us here?
Welcome back, you guys.
No, don't welcome us back. Don't start saying that, Yosuke. When did we get here? How? Who? Why? Together with Labrys, we head towards the rooftop, where there is supposedly an exit to the real world. Couldn't you have shown that before confusing the hell out of me? A small crowd welcomes us on our arrival. Some of them I haven't yet met in person. If I recall correctly, the energetic girl with short hair is Chie Sananaka. The well-built young man must be Kanji Tatsumi. And that must be the real Teddy. His speech is no different from the imposter's, but in absence of that evil demeanor, The real one is much more adorable. No, he's not! He's not adorable. He's fucking annoying. Don't be saying Teddy's adorable. You are wrong. All the faces I saw in the video are here, with a smile on every one.
Whoa! You really are a robot! Hey, can I touch you?
Fanfiction writers, don't you fucking dare! I am warning you!
Chie-san, that's a bit impolite. It's hard enough restraining myself already.
I'm serious, fanfic writers, don't you fucking dare! If you try it, I will come in there, rip off your arm, and beat you to death with a wet end. Put down the pen now!
You said restrain yourself.
Well...
I give Labrys an encouraging smile. She needn't be afraid to enter their circle. None of them are rejecting her after all.
I'm sorry I caused you guys trouble.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. That Grand Prix was you, right?
Oh god, no, Exorcist, no. We don't discuss R34. Unless it's a Nissan Skyline, we don't discuss R34 on this channel. Nix, right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't a half bad idea. Fighting to see who's the strongest man was awesome.
What?
Yeah, Labrys, I'm with you. It's like, bruh, what you doing?
Kanji's right, but you should have invited me too.
Sorry?
No, don't apologise to Teddy, Labrys. Don't inflate his ego.
I won't forgive you until you say, I really like you, you big bear of a man. All sexy like that.
Where is Monokuma when I need him? That's apparently adorable, people. That.
Guys, stop making it even worse. Sorry we're starting off like this.
Yeah, good evening, Queen. Yes, what conversation did you just walk into? Don't ask. Just leave it there.
In any case, I'm really glad you're all right.
I got you to thank for that.
You see, I'm liking the chat saying, will someone kill Teddy, please? I mean, I'm happy for fanfic authors to come up with a very special punishment for Teddy. Be imaginative. Be very cruel. They took very naturally to someone who isn't human.
Great job, Mitsuru. But man, talk about a rowdy bunch of students.
Still, they are kind.
I look at Labrys, surrounded by new friends. I wish I could join them, but part of me would rather watch over them for now. And there are things I still need to consider.
Is something the matter?
I'm not good at relying on others. My responsibilities are so heavy that I don't even think of trusting others with them. I've been told it before, but it never gets easy.
Why not think of things more simply? When something cannot be accomplished alone, there is no other choice but to trust in others to help. Good or bad, it is inevitable. Then why not accept it and move forward?
Well, when did Aigis suddenly become a life counsellor? Snowbeaver, you're the expert on Aigis. You explain. This is news to me. As funny an idea as that is, Queen, I'm going to leave that one in the chat. You can all chat that one out yourselves.
You aren't alone either, after all.
I can't keep myself from smiling at the truth. At the truism I never would have come up with. The truism? The truism? I've heard of altruism, but truism? I guess you really do learn things from playing these games.
You're right. It's not difficult at all when put that way. It's just as I was saying about companionship being a guide.
Indeed. I'm thankful for my friends. They say the things I cannot and can take me outside myself with new perspectives. I'm sure that the same principle will save Labrys from straying from her path. Although, I think again about the case. Now that Labrys is safe, there's another issue. The mastermind was not Labrys, but her shadow. However, his shadow emerged and began to act only after she entered the TV world. It's hard to reconcile that with Labrys taking the initiative to escape. Come to think of it, there's something else that can't be explained. If we assume Labrys was behind everything...
Was Labrys truly the mastermind here?
Huh? What are you getting at?
Why did Labrys choose them? Where did Labrys learn of them?
It's the students of Yasogami High that trouble me. I can't see why Labrys would have selected them. Because Atlas wanted the crossover. That's why. Am I breaking the fourth wall? Shit, I've broken my own rule. I thought they might have sensed the changes Labrys caused in this world on their own, but no. The video that brought them here called them by name. Not to mention the shadow to the appearance of General Teddy from the start. Neither would be possible unless she had identified them beforehand.
Even we didn't know about them or about this world inside the TV. How did Labrys discover all this?
Yeah, I can't explain it either.
And I still have my doubts regarding the hijackers' mental state. Their memories were so muddled that they couldn't even explain themselves. Do Labrys' abilities extend that far? The more I think about it, the more questions arise. There must be some larger plan at work here after all.
Well, the fastest way to find out is to just ask her. Hey, Labrys!
Akihiko.
Akihiko's loud voice catches not only Labrys' attention, but the high school's as well. I had hoped to keep them away from this, since they were innocent bystanders. Akihiko seems not to notice my irritated glare.
When did you wake up? How did you find out about the TV world?
About this place?
Labrys abruptly starts moving, just before starting to convulse and take a leap backwards. It happens so suddenly that even the students standing some distance away raise their voices in alarm.
Labrys!
Get back!
As soon as Akihiko cries out, Aigis runs towards the students to protect them. I keep a careful eye on Labrys, whose face has gone blank and put some distance between us. My fears have been realized. Labrys reaches for the axe on her back and swings it without hesitation.
Is she malfunctioning? No! Someone's hijacked her!
What?
If we're all here, the shadow is defeated, and someone's still hijacking her, then...
I know you're there. Who are you? Show yourself.
I expected a response, but the source of my answer came as a shock.
Show myself? How cold. You treat me as if I were a stranger.
That voice!
A pool of darkness emerges from one of the nearby shadows, forming...
No way. Kirijo-san's shadow?
Are we getting an anime scene for this one? No. We're just getting loading. That's disappointing. The fact it loaded made me think we might have got an anime scene for the transformation. It has my appearance, my face. It's me in every way, save for the unnatural gleam in its golden eyes and the mocking expression it makes.
Do you not recognize your own face? I am you.
I've got to say, that's really actually a creepy look. Like the slitted eyes and the yellow. It's just, that actually does look really quite intimidating. They've done a really good job with her shadow design. Still, my heart is calm. In fact, her appearance may be giving me more clues to the enemy's intentions.
You seem to have a penchant for deception. Unfortunately, I already know that you're the mastermind here. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers. Very good. No wonder you managed to drive back a god once. Yes, I want them even more now.
You want them? Explain yourself.
Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled strength.
Wait, what? You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness.
I do actually think the idea of turning personas back to shadows is a really interesting plot. And it would be a great mechanic for a future Persona game if you saw, like, say for example, Nate Nanjo from the first two Persona games, or someone like that get corrupted. It'd be an interesting take on the formula. But I don't think these games have quite got the legs to flesh it out as a story, and it'd be interesting to see them revisit it.
This one's desire to make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
Who are you?
Sadly, it seems things won't be going according to plan this time. But I'll make use of what tools I have to the very end. This is my last chance. No, more like a marvelous entertainment. Stand, my puppet.
The shadow ignores my taunts and raises its right hand toward Labrys, still collapsed on the ground. Labrys reacts to the gesture by rising up, like a puppet with no will of its own.
You bastard! This form is exhausted from constant battle and will be useless as an asset. But unless you destroy it, it will keep rising up and attacking you all. What will you do?
Labrys obeys the shadow's command and leaps forward to attack. It seems the enemy will do anything to battle us. I understood that. But understanding it and forgiving it are two different things.
Just knock her out one more time.
As you say, Avian, yeah, it would be a great story to exploit in Persona 6. Obviously, there's been no word on Persona 6. Although, of course, we do have Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden coming to the PS5, and Persona 5 Royal coming to Xbox and Steam for you guys who've not had a chance to play it. Sometime in... I think it's either in August or September they're coming out.
No, don't attack her. Further damage to Labrys could put her in danger.
But, come on! She's all over us!
Now, may you suffer and curse your fate. Relinquish your personas.
At that moment, I hear a voice whisper in my mind.
Huh?
I stop in spite of myself. I know this voice well. Relief washes over me to hear it. This match will end in our victory. I call to everyone assembled.
Don't listen. Everyone, concentrate on avoiding her attacks.
But we can't do that forever.
Let's say it might be October, Queen. I'm not sure exactly when it is. I know that in August... Oh wait, I think in August Soul Hackers 2 is coming out. I think Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hackers 2 is out in August. And then the Persona ports are out in October. I think that's right now I think about it. So, apologies for getting my months mixed up, people.
Just try and hang in there. Trust me. I trust in you.
I realize that this is an impossible demand. Everyone is already exhausted by what's come before. Still, I need to buy time. Surprisingly, the first to nod is neither Akihiko nor Aigis.
Everyone, we can take this much. Yosuke, you ready?
Hell yeah, partner. Let's let Mitsuru-san do her thing.
Hanamura and the others recover from their confusion at once when Narukami speaks. Interesting. He seems to be a great leader.
Akihiko, Aigis, back them up.
You got it.
No one will force my sister to hurt others ever again.
And speaking of those ports, I am actually tempted to get Persona 5 Royal on Steam, even though I've played it loads of times on PS4 and PS5, purely to see what modders do with it. Modders all over Persona 5 Royal could be very interesting.
You had best hurry and decide. Who will be destroyed? This shell or the lot of you?
The shadow laughs triumphantly to see us driven against the wall. She's acting like a god, but she's much too short-sighted for that. I sense what I've been waiting for. We bought enough time.
Sad to say, but this show is over. What?
Labrys comes to a halt and is released from the shadow's control. She must have been forced to exceed her limits, for she falls to the floor as if her strings have been cut. We didn't attack her at all, yet she's left unable to so much as break her fall. A chill goes down my spine to imagine what could have happened if we'd fought her at our full strength.
Looks like you made it in the nick of time. You saved us, Yamagishi.
Are you all okay? Fuka-san.
I still don't like what the design they've given Fuka here. I don't know what it is. There's something about it that makes it look like a poor reskin of the of Ayane from the Sun Social Link in Persona 4. The design just doesn't look as appealing as Persona 3's. I don't know why. There's something about what they've done with Fuka here I just don't like.
So you had a third assistant.
That voice. It's not coming from in here. Whoever it is out there.
Seriously? She can use hers in reality too?
She responded at the perfect moment to my earlier phone call, asking her to come at once. Yamagishi had a bit of initial difficulty dealing with a world so alien to her, but she adjusted quickly enough. Though she's far away, I can sense that we're under her protection.
It's just as you thought, Mitsuru-senpai. The enemy is only mimicking your appearance. It's a fake.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away. So these are the limits of a half-broken puppet. Well, no matter. This was only ever for my own enjoyment. You despicable monster! I didn't expect you to fight back this hard, but didn't you have fun?
To be fair, I did.
You were all taken in by an illusion. This place, these traps, everything came from your own minds. You dread yourselves most of all. A beautiful plan, wasn't it? Your idea of beauty is rather warped, as is your plan and your assessment of us. But your biggest mistake was that you took my form in the end.
I take a step forward. Seeing this, Akihiko and Aigis take a step back. They know me well. Oh yes. We remember this theme from the Persona 3 playthrough, don't we, people? They can see the signs of anger boiling within me.
Are you angry? Alright, I'll play along. The show must go on, right? Don't say another word while wearing that face. I'll teach you just who it is you've made an enemy of!
So it looks like my final boss fight here is going to be Mitsuru herself. And this is where the computer goes, you like spamming that combo? Time for a taste of your own medicine. I'm ready for it. There's Artemisia versus Artemisia.
Final. Fight.
Here we go. Same combo back at me. There you go. Thank you. Clutched it. Look at the health bar there. Did you see how low that was? That's easily the most like closest I've ever come. That was classic Street Fighter 2, clutching it in the last moment.
Check.
Your move.
This is fine with me. Good enough for my purposes that I confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
The shadow lasts as if defeat mattered to it not at all.
This is only a temporary form. I doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance. Sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game. All that irritates me is having to feign cooperation with that foolish human until I obtain the one true vessel.
Foolish human, huh? Intriguing.
I will see you and another guy's next time. Just wait until then.
Is it just me who thinks of Inspector Gadget with that, "I'll get you next time, Gadget"?
The real you will face the same consequences soon. Choose your last words carefully.
Oh, yep, she's preparing the execution moment. Anyone who saw the Persona 3 animated movies will know exactly what I'm talking about. Its laugh echoes throughout the room as the shadow borrowing my form disappears in the thin air.
Yamagishi!
The reading disappeared. It didn't move, it just vanished. What could this mean?
Back to square one again.
Another guys, huh?
Don't even think about coming around here again!
Yeah, that's right. Best girls told you where to go. Sling your hook and fuck off.
What are we up against? Our enemy seems to be targeting Persona users.
It seems that not even they know who the enemy is. Though I didn't expect they would. The enemy had extensive knowledge of Labrys, something even I didn't have. There's no denying it. Whoever did this is well versed in the Kirijo group's internal workings. Gathering powerful shadows. Now we know the enemy's general aim. But what do they plan to do with them? None of that matters at the moment, I suppose. I signal to Akihiko. He catches it and turns towards the students.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after us.
Of course. You should be aware that the enemy is out there. Akihiko only means that there is no need to abandon your lives to pursue it. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. That is, after all, our duty.
But...
I don't expect them to like my answer. But the reason I started the Shadow Operatives is to protect people from these things. The students. They're still young. Granting my permission would only mean them becoming more inexorably involved. We should be the ones to take responsibility.
Guys, let's leave this to them.
You can...
Are you serious?
They're right that we need to go back for now. We're all at our limit.
When Narukami signals to him, Hanamura's complaints fall suspiciously silent. That hardly fooled anyone. Either they take me for an imbecile, or think it won't matter even if I do catch on. I suppose I can live with it. If they are that determined, I am not one to dissuade them. We'll have to take care of everything before they can involve themselves, that's all. Teddy jumps around, his footsteps sounding highly unnatural to catch our attention.
Alrighty, attention please! The trip doesn't end until we get out of the TV!
Dude, we were in the middle of a conversation.
What are you doing with this ancient TV? Hang on, where'd you even get this?
It's a Teddy Vision! You can get out from here!
That pun is still painful. Teddy Vision. Haha! Haha! They exchange banter, as if the recent problems are already long past. It's so they can continue to be carefree that we must fight. Moreover...
How's Labrys?
There wasn't much damage to her motor functions. I don't believe it will take much time to repair her. Still, the stress on her cognitive functions must have been severe. It may take some time for her to awaken.
Aigis gazes sadly at Labrys' unmoving form in her arms. We must also fight to prevent anyone else from being hurt like these two. This case is over for the time being. It's time to say our farewells to this world. Queen, that joke's been done before. It's been done far too many times. I'm numb to it now. But a newfound fight is surging within me. Oh wow. After we return to the real world, there is no rest for the weary. I mean, that's exactly the kind of place that Mitsuru would stay. You know, you've got the chandelier, you've got the huge Venetian curtains, you've got the flowers, you've got the massive lounge. After action reports on the case, investigation leads on the culprit. There's a mountain of things to do.
Here you go, Mitsuru-san.
Ah, thank you.
After issuing instructions, I'm ready to take a break when Aigis serves me a cup of tea with perfect timing. Unforgettable. The fresh scent of Darjeeling. I take a moment to savour the mellow aroma of muscat. Ah, yes, tea. Apparently the drink of England. Newsflash, it really isn't. That's right, spring is nearly over. I feel like I can barely keep track of the seasons anymore.
We will be leaving Inaba tomorrow. Keep that in mind when making preparations.
Understood.
We're rather limited here in this hotel room. You call that limited? That's bigger than my lounge! Limited my fucking ass! Originally, I had intended to return today, but we're all so tired that we had to stay the night. There is also Labrys' condition to consider. Still, mulling it over, I hear a knock at the door.
It's me, Fuka.
Come in. I'm sorry I had to summon you on such short notice.
Oh no, it's alright. I was on vacation too, after all.
Yeah, so you got a full view of her there, and it's like, I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on why I don't like the design for Fuka here. I don't know what it is that rankles me about it. It's going to annoy me. There's something about it I just don't find appealing, and I don't know what it is.
How is Labrys?
She's still resting. There was a lot of stress on her, so we might have to carry her out.
I see.
Yamagishi takes a nearby chair. There's weariness in her eyes.
I looked into the records. Labrys was built on a self-contradicting foundation.
Self-contradicting?
Unlike with Aigis, when Labrys was being developed, no one had the know-how to create a personality from scratch.
Yeah, that's one thing I can do, Queen. I can also go on my channel at some point because I've got the dancing videos from Persona 3, Dancing in the Moonlight, and that's a full HD image. I might do a comparison between the pair and see what it is, because there's got to be something I'm not liking, and I just don't know what it is.
So, it seems like they took an actual girl's personality and used it as a base.
A living girl. So that's why her heart is unexpectedly advanced.
Yamagishi nods. And of course, if you all wind back a few parts when we did Labrys' story, that was one of the revelations we had. It was about how it was almost like a terminally ill girl wanting to carry on her desires through robots. A surprisingly interesting idea that you don't see explored very often. I think the film AI tried to do it, but wasn't very successful.
But if she had all of the original girl's memories, a contradiction would occur in her self-awareness. Normally they'd make adjustments to prevent that, but even then, they couldn't guarantee it would be completely safe. That's why Labrys was loaded with a self-deceiving function, in case a conflict arose in her self-awareness.
She was deceiving herself? Then the function that interfered with our perception...
It was listed as meant for infiltration, but that was a technicality. Its true purpose was a safety mechanism.
She was given a heart presupposing that it would cause conflicts with her self-awareness. I silently begged the heavens for forgiveness at the cruelty and injustice performed upon her.
I think that should be okay now.
A hesitant voice comes from outside.
Labrys! When did you get here? Sorry to sneak up on you. But after I faced my shadow and learned how to use my persona, it's hard to explain, but it felt like my emotions settled down. Actually, that may be what happened. Facing one's shadow could be said to be correcting one's self-awareness.
That must be it. Your developers came to the decision that it was an insurmountable problem, yet you overcame it.
I approach Labrys and stroke her head. She fidgets, her eyes cast slightly downward.
How do you feel? Does anything seem off?
Oh, no! You guys have treated me so well, I feel kinda guilty about it. My body's all fixed up too, so there shouldn't be any problems there.
I see.
Labrys' expression seems gentle. That's an interesting little scene. It reminds me of the dorm in P3, with all like all the decor and everything else. Now the question is, Where's Junpei and the guys watching from the balcony trying to get their eyes peeping on it? We all remember Operation Babe Hunt, don't we? Operation Disaster, more like. She appears to be mentally stable. I doubt there's any danger for her losing control again.
I wanted to talk to you about where we go from here.
From here? You mean about me?
No worries, Avian. I know the pain and I know the stress. Battle through it. It's almost at an end, I'm sure. Keep at it.
Originally, we planned to take you back to the lab on Yakushima, but that was when we still thought of you as a mere object. Is that what you want to happen?
What else is there?
The shower scene. Yeah. Let's leave that alone there, shall we, Avian?
You could tell us what you yourself want. You do have a heart, just like us. Who knows? Maybe you could even go to school eventually. Me? Go to school?
Even Aigis has been to school, and that was when she knew much less about the world than you know now.
Thinking back to that time is, it's rather embarrassing.
When she walked into class and introduced herself as a weapon, and Ms. Toriyumi's like, there must be a mistake. Makoto was sat there going, I don't care. Surprisingly, Labrys fell silent and thought. To live a life no different from anybody else's. That must be exactly what she wants. Should I tell her there's no need to worry about living expenses? No. Best to wait for her decision. She should be the one to decide on her future. After a long silence, Labrys speaks again.
School. It sounds great. But I feel like there's something I gotta do first.
When did school ever sound great, people? Seriously, when?
I mean, yeah, it's been my dream for a long time to go to school.
Your dream to go to school? My dream was to set my charges and blow the whole fucking place up.
But someone's after those guys. Someone's trying to wreck their lives. I want to catch whoever it is myself. I want to look after those guys.
Rather than being with them, she chose to protect them. It's a beautifully selfless decision. She fought for herself and chose her own path. I see no reason to deny her that.
The Security Department Shadow Response Unit would be glad to have you. Welcome to the team, Labrys.
Avian, you echo my chant on that one. I mean, it's an interesting point, actually, Queen. Yeah, you say if you've been denied a normal way of life, it probably sounds appealing. And then you get the jock who starts stealing your lunch money, and you get all the fucking jerks taking the piss out of you because you're different. Oh yeah, I've not got scars, people. I don't at all. I extend a hand. If she takes it, she'll be putting an ordinary life on hold for a while. I know she understands that, but she takes it anyway.
I get to work with you, sister. I guess that reminds me. I am your younger sister, but I am more experienced than you. This may be somewhat confusing.
Though the two sisters are a bit awkward around each other now, a new bond will form there as well. Labrys made her own choice not to live an ordinary life. That's an interesting question. Who would bully a robot girl? I don't know. There's someone who would do it. I just have this nagging feeling someone would try and turn it into some kind of, I don't know, anti-android approach or something. You could say that she's truly facing herself. She'll be alright. Seeing the two of them together makes me sure of it.
I'll give you a tour of the lab tomorrow. Make sure you're ready to write things down.
Tomorrow? We're leaving Inaba already? I haven't even said goodbye. I can't leave without seeing him one more time. Oh, that's good to hear. It means you've made some friends. Friends.
I turn to Aigis.
Aigis, get in contact with them by whatever means you deem necessary.
Oh yeah, they quickly realised it was a bad idea, Queen. You're not wrong. They'd be like... They'd have, like, major regrets.
Understood. How should I contact them? I only know their names.
Yamagishi, your usual method should prove effective once again.
Huh? But isn't that invading their privacy?
For those of you who are not sure what Mitsuru is suggesting there, hacking. That's what she's suggesting.
Permission granted. Remember, we have official sanction to operate now.
And after how they acted when we were parting, we'll definitely need their contact information. They won't sit quietly by. Of that I'm sure. This matter is still open, after all. The mystery remains unsolved, and there are still worries nagging at me. Oh my god, wow, Exetel, jeez. The Friends theme. Actually, I did see an interesting Shin Megami Tensei meme once where someone put the demi-fiend, Alice, Mother Harlot, Trumpeter, and Matador on like a screen and put Fiends with the Friends font. I approved of that a lot. The little show. Oh, you're talking about Kokichi, Avian. True, yes. Kokichi did bully a robot. That's a good point. Yes, there you are, Queen. Kokichi would bully Labrys. He'd have that sniggering, "You got me!" look on his face when he did it as well. But that's not the only legacy of this case.
I'll help look them up too.
Labrys breaks into a smile and takes Aigis' side at the computer. The bonds that gave her that smile, they will light our unseen path. There's no knowing yet where this case might lead. But the day that we stop in our tracks, too afraid to continue, will never come. Oh, that's interesting. We're not going to see the goodbye scene here. It sounds like they're going straight to the credits. Yep, they are. They're going straight to the credits. I'm actually surprised. All the other characters, it's shown them actually saying goodbye, but like there was none of that this time. That's really interesting. So, with that, we've got Mitsuru's story in the can. We will skip the credits. We've already been through them a few times on other streams. And now it should say that we're on to the final arc for this one.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Yep, the Queen.
This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. Now then, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, there you are. That achievement's for you, Queen and Axetel. Named after you both. And it's not stalking if you hack into contact your friends. I get the feeling there'll be quite a few people who disagree.
Ability is the power to control.
Well, here we are. So, it's time to take control of Elizaabeth, endearingly known in the community as Elizadeath, for anyone who's tried to fight her. Former resident of the Velvet Room and the one who governs power. She looks frail, but the onslaught she dishes out is off the scale. Stimmy your opponents with persona cards, then decimate them with Megiddo. Oh my god! There's a way to use Megiddo as Elizaabeth. I shouldn't be surprised, but that's typical for Elizaabeth.
I wish you good luck.
I'm interested in how she's going to play. Within the endless darkness are scattered countless bright lights like a nebula. But those lights are not stars. Each one is the light of life, the gleam of man's souls. This is the world inside people's hearts. A place where every human's consciousness is connected and can be traced to their origin. Every memory since the dawn of man, and even those on the ladder of its evolution, slumbers here. Some think of this place as a sea. Welcome to philosophy class, people, I guess. I wasn't expecting this to be the start. I think, therefore I am, and all that kind of stuff.
And they may be correct. Depending on how deep you go, you may see this world's endless landscapes and innumerable faces. Where I stand now is one of its furthest depths.
Yes, she's standing at the bottom of the hole where my heart used to be. That's where she is right now.
A domain that has existed far before life became sentient or even took form. Here there is only darkness of death and the radiance of life. I come here at times for a very important objective. Suddenly, a patch of the darkness surges and undulates. The pitch-black substance swells with a tar-like consistency and quickly takes the shape of a giant arm.
My, it's rather stout compared to before.
Ah, that's fantastic! Well, for those of you who remember my playthrough of Persona 3 FES, the answer, you should very much recognise this form. The question is, do I have to fight it?
Just as good and evil are products of man's heart, there is negative force here in this sea of souls that tempts man to corruption and destruction. Though one person's malice may amount to little, there are billions of people in the world. It's actually common for monsters capable of destroying mankind to develop without anyone realizing. This is one of them. Though it was only an arm at first, it quickly develops into an enormous human-shaped torso.
That's not human-shaped. I've never seen a human look like that. Unless you count a really sick horror film that I'm not even going to name, that involved 3 people being joined together. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. And the sick ball is that way.
It roars with resentment, sending shocks through this space where up and down are fluid. The monster raises an enormous arm that could tear down mountains towards the heavens. But it suddenly stops. Something is blocking its movement. I am, to be precise. You might think I'm nowhere on the scene. In truth, even the monster may be thinking that. But I'd like to direct your attention to the fingertips at the end of this giant arm. Closer. Even closer than that. Keep going closer all the way to the index finger.
There. Do you see me now? Have I forgotten to introduce myself? My name is Elizabeth.
Stop breaking the 4th wall! Leave the fucking 4th wall alone!
I fix my gaze upon the 2 lights that seem to be the monster's eyes, but it twists away, trying to resist.
Oh wow, Exeter, you actually laughed at that for me. But to be fair, you can't take it seriously, can you? It is a ridiculous concept.
Do you wish to behold death that much?
I grab the monster's index finger, and in one motion I flip its immense body and throw it into the air.
I told you she was dangerous, Elizaabeth.
The monster cries out in agony, and the area quakes again.
Oh dear. It seems it won't be easy for one of this size. I cannot damage the world of everyone's hearts, and I hesitate to make a scene in the real world either. Time for a change of scenery.
I open the elegant grimoire in my hand.
Has she just cast Madoon? Or is she trying to fuse a persona?
A large blue magic circle forms behind the thrown monster, swallowing the gargantuan figure.
Well, as you say, Queen, in the games, Elizabeth has been the pure definition of an OP character, but I've never played as her, so I don't know how she fights.
I follow it in.
Okay, she's just taken...
Continual turbulent streams of light and darkness flow past the monster and myself. Eventually, I speak up.
We will soon reach our destination.
Oh, well, she's carried on being the elevator girl from Persona 3 at least.
Another magic circle appears in an altogether different kind of black void than the one we came from.
I mean, to be fair, of all the Velvet Room attendants, Elizabeth is my favourite. I actually really like Elizabeth.
The monster is spat out there, and when it collides with the surface, a tremendous cloud of dust arises. I emerge from the magic circle, second, and rise into the air. On the horizon beyond the monster, I can see a deep blue sphere.
Ah, they're on the moon.
Yes, this is the moon.
The moon. Bom, bom.
Now, I had promised to show you death. Your fate is in the cards.
Oh, there's Thanatos.
A figure appears behind me bearing several coffins.
The god of death, Thanatos. What do you think?
The light of the stars shines off its drawn sword and gleams bewitchingly.
Was it to your liking? Well then, farewell.
He flings the sword down at the monster's head. Against its fearsome size, the sword is barely larger than a needle, but the sword's merciless sharpness pierces far beyond the blade's length. The monster's body slices apart like wet paper. With a final death cry, the monster slowly dissolves and evaporates as a black mist. A deafening silence returns to the area.
I mean, technically there'd have been silence anyway because she's in space and space is a vacuum. So deafening silence would have been there regardless because there's no atmosphere for sound to travel through. Write that down, it'll be on the exam next week.
To break the quiet, a tune plays on my lips.
Velvet, oh velvet.
Go on, finish the song. Oh, she's not started singing it.
I create another magic circle in the air and step through it. I shouldn't remain long in this world without any real objective. This is not the world I belong in, after all.
My master has a large nose.
Wrong! You got the lyrics wrong!
It's my master has a very long nose.
A song she learned from Margaret.
I was once a resident of the Velvet Room and served its master.
And there it is, the Persona 3 Velvet Room. And again, there was something about the architecture that's really interesting there, because from this concept art, you've obviously got the gates, but you can actually see the padded walls either side, which are very similar to the limousine and the jazz bar from Persona 2 and Persona 1. So that's rather interesting that we've actually got it's not caged on all the sides.
The dark blue clothing I still wear is from that time. All the residents have their roles, but they are also on a journey. We help our guests grow as people, and through the help we offer, we come to understand the ultimate question. It's the fundamental question of who are we?
Yes, and Makoto helped you answer that question when you went to visit his room. Oh yes, there's still the theory about who the parents of Caroline and Justine are in the fandom. I'm saying no more.
Thinking back on it, I spent so many days like that for such a long time. I had thought that it would be impossible to change.
But 2 years ago, I finally reached my answer. One's identity cannot be sought out, but must be forged for oneself. It's something you build, little by little. People call the freedom to do so potential, and by mastering it, people develop their unique identities. That is the understanding I came to. So it seemed to me I should believe in my own potential and wander in pursuit of my desire. It wasn't a hard conclusion to come to. That is why I abandoned my assigned role and departed on my long journey. I have set an objective for myself, to defeat the monster I fought a moment ago once and for all. I vanquished it then, but that is only temporary.
It'll surely resurrect within the year again, and I'll go through today once more.
That monster was born from the twisted wishes arising from the lack of substance in people's lives.
The lack of substance in people's lives. How true that's felt for the last 18 months.
It slowly stagnates and seeps out. If this is life, then bring on death. Desires are like that, what give it power. And that giant black arm tries to free death from its prison. It can never be left to act on its aims. But as long as people continue to wish as they do, the foul feelings will congeal and it will revive endlessly. To truly defeat the monster means to change people's hearts.
This was 3 years before the teaser trailer for Persona 5. Atlas, you teases!
That cannot be done no matter how much one improves their skill in battle.
Joker and the Phantom Thieves called. They succeeded.
I do not currently know how this goal can be attained. It may be that no one in this world knows yet. Some new and unknown miraculous power will most likely be required. That is why I wish to travel as far and wide as I can to broaden my horizons. Since I have only interacted with the guests of the room, I'm sure the scope of my knowledge is far inferior to a single human's. But there are infinite places for me to explore. I'll travel to each one and satisfy my natural curiosity.
I'll save. Actually, I'm going to keep Labrys as a waterfall. I'll save on Mitsuru's. That'll do. I don't think it makes much difference, to be honest, because I've already done the stories completely. Drumroll?
Now, that's why I have come here. A double check on the danger scale situation that I just recently discovered.
Okay.
I place my hands on my hips in what I believe to be standing firm. Before me is what seems to be a replica of a building in the real world.
I sense multiple Persona users gathering. It's once in a blue moon that one discovers a place like this. I'm sure I can learn some interesting things here, or something along those lines. In any case, I, Elizabeth, can scarcely keep myself from getting involved.
For someone with physical form to step into the realm of the mind would be for them to enter an even more abstract place than the Velvet Room. Normally it would be impossible, and even if it were, it would be very dangerous without a firm will. For it to occur at all is intriguing enough, but on top of that, these people are mainly Persona users, and not just one or two. There's no denying that something truly extraordinary is happening here. Broadened horizons aside, I can't resist taking a closer look. When I get closer, I see a nameplate reading Yasogami High School at what seems to be the main gate.
This building, is it a school?
The school building before me looks aged and I narrow my eyes.
It seems somewhat old-fashioned compared to the school I have experience with, but it has its charms as well.
Yep, and again, for those of you who weren't here for the Persona free playthrough, that's a reference to when, of course, she went around Gekkoukan High School in Tatami Port Island.
This is what they call animalist aesthetic.
Do they? Animalist? Don't you mean minimalist?
Animalist? Bestial? Anyway, something along those lines.
Yes, we're going to design a place for kids to come and learn. It's going to be bestial. We're going to make people think they're back in the primitive prehistoric region. Who'd design a school like that?
There are bizarre decorations as far as the eye can see inside the building. Was this school always thus adorned?
And this music's far too cheery.
These decorations. Could this be the fabled school festival I've heard tell of? A festival is where one toys with the lives of goldfish in a scandalous game.
I mean, she's not wrong, to be fair. The amount of people that try and fish goldfish out of those ponds and see the ones break when they do it, so they fall back into the water. I imagine they'd think they're being toyed with. throw 7 seconds they can remember it.
One can also enjoy a combat simulation with close-range shooting tests using sniper rifle fire into the interior of stalls.
Where is this festival? I always had those really shitty air rifles where the barrel was bent like that, so you always missed.
Ooh, I'm starting to get excited.
And now she's a gun nut. I'm not surprised.
Looking up, I spy a large sign done in vibrant colours.
P1 Grand Prix. Could this be a fighting tournament?
I still don't understand where P1 Grand Prix becomes a fighting tournament. Where I'm from, P1 Grand Prix would be motor racing. Prototype 1 class Grand Prix.
This isn't why the Persona users are gathering, is it?
No sooner do my suspicions arise than I sense the first presence within the school and turn towards it. Come, challenger! I wave my arms about in anticipation, but something seems odd.
Yes, you're not wrong, Axel. Yes, got festivals over here in the UK. Spending a crap ton of money to get a plushie that's worth less than $5. Apparently, it's no different in the States. Mark Rober did a video where he took a baseball player for the New York Mets and cleaned out a load of stalls. And even though they won the first time, they still technically lost money.
That lady over there, she not a Persona user? Regardless of that, I sense something out of the ordinary.
Is that Labrys, I'm guessing?
When I close my eyes, I can tell that while she may appear to be a human girl, something about her is amiss. I sense an unnatural disconnect from her memories and consciousness, not seen in most people.
Is she truly human?
Now that I'm here, I sense powerful combatants gathering one by one. If such power were to be used to its fullest in clashes of skill, the result could be life-threatening. This place is not meant for such a girl. If she were to be drawn into this, then in the worst-case scenario...
Were I still my old self when I only lived to play out my role, I would leave her be. But I am different now.
I make my way toward the girl. As I approach her, I begin to hear voices. It seems that she is calling herself a student council president. I stride down to the end of the hallway where she's walking, directly into her view. The girl gives me a slightly questioning look, but no more. She comes towards me guidelessly.
Hey, excuse me. You got some reason to be at our school?
Up close, I can tell at once. There's no doubt that this girl is not human, yet she seems to be under that impression. The original residents of this place seem to believe that she is as well. But of course, that is impossible. The disconnect I sensed earlier must be related.
Could someone have tampered with her memories and psyche?
I wonder if that's a reference there, memories and psyche, because psyche was the persona used by Metis in Persona 3 FES. Yes, obligatory reference to my favourite robot waifu from Persona. Yes. I'll stop now.
No matter how unusual her circumstances, such extreme gaps in awareness are no mere fragments of the imagination. It's possible, but normally those with distorted view of reality have equally distorted emotions, and I do not sense that in her. Her emotions are in balance, only her memories and awareness fall short, like a corpse de ballet falling behind a soloist. I fix my gaze upon the girl before me once again. If she did not come here of her own will, then the events here may be more sinister than I imagined.
Are you sure this is how things should be? Huh? What are you talking about? I am a wanderer who only stopped here because I sensed great power gathering. I am in no position to give advice, but, this place will soon be caught in a bit of a fracas. If you continue to avert your eyes from everything, I think it will have an impact on your life in the near future.
My life?
What you choose is up to you, but I believe there are factors preventing you from making the right choices at the moment. I couldn't bring myself to just stand by and watch as you lost your life before my eyes. That is why I came to you, so I could give you one last chance.
She has most likely forgotten who she is. I sense something shining, slumbering deep in her heart. It's the glow of a bond. No one who has been a resident of the Velvet Room can mistake it for anything else. Before she forgot herself, she must have had strong feelings about someone or had made a promise to them. But I'll leave it to her to remember what it was. I hold out the Persona Compendium as if handing it to the girl and open its pages. Light streams out from it and washes over her. The light dispels the girl's false image, the illusion that made her seem human, though she is not.
Huh? What is this?
Her true form is revealed as a gleaming mechanical body. Her arms look as if steel plates are covering them. The girl frantically pulls at them to try and tear them off.
It won't come off. What gives? My, what a robotically cool body.
Robotically cool body. She has such a way with words, Elizabeth.
It is apparently meant for battle. Hey, you! What did you do to me? Nothing in particular. Well, considering that you are meant for battle, I shall briefly be your opponent. During that time, why not think back about who you are? Huh? My opponent?
Most likely, I will not get through to her with words alone. Only by forcing into a confrontation will she finally be able to understand. She already knows how to use the steel limbs which she's supposedly never before seen.
And away we go.
Yep. Elizabeth challenges her to a fight. I'm now interested in how she controls, because I've never tried her at all. I've not even used her in practice. So this is completely blind. I've no moves, I've no knowledge, nothing. We're going straight into it. So I'm interested in how this is going to work. Final. Very strange music. Okay, she feels a little broken. Throwing cards and trapping people in combos and then encasing them in ice as well on the way down. That's a little mean. I approve.
The girl collapses powerlessly.
I used a soft touch during the battle. No, you didn't. You stomped a mud hole in her backside. Don't you dare underplay my efforts, game. I was trying 100%.
She should have sustained no injuries.
After being slammed headfirst into the floor and been attacked by a sword encased in ice. You've got a lot of trust in the body, Elizabeth. I like it.
Probably. Still, the girl does not stand back up. Apparently due to mental rather than physical stress. Her own arms and legs are turned metallic, yet in the heat of battle she was able to use those foreign appendages with ease. If she truly thought herself to be human, that would have come as quite a shock.
That should be enough. I'm sure you realize now that you are not human. There must have been an important promise that could only be kept in that guise. That must have been your reason for living. Whether it's worth losing that or not, I ask that you give it serious thought.
An important promise? My reason for living?
Her potential will become unlocked through self-reflection. That was how it happened for me as well.
Now, it seems the tumult of trials is about to begin. In which case, I bid you good luck.
I close the compendium in my hand and the worn pages rustle as they meet. By the time it shuts, I am already far away from the girl. In my absence, the illusion is again in place, giving her the appearance of a human once more. She may consider what happened to be a daydream, and that is quite alright. My intention was to give her an opportunity to awaken to the truth. What she eventually decides is up to her. But that aside, there's something else on my mind. The girl I thought looked human but wasn't. It is rare for one such as I, with an unimaginably long lifespan, to meet someone like her. Yet she is the second such person I have known. The other was also a guest of mine once. She too resembled a human girl. I can sense her power somewhere here as well. Most likely, she's here for reasons having to do with the girl I met.
What an intriguing event. More so than I had first imagined.
Though I came here on a mere whim, this trip may be unexpectedly fruitful. Perhaps I'll discover something important. My interest piqued even more now, and I decided to go further in. When I do, the bustles of voices reach my ear. Is that a cheer?
Oh, hang on, is that Teddy on the TV?
One of the monitors nearby turns on after the cheer dies down. It's showing a girl in a school uniform.
Ladies and gentlemen, is everyone ready? It's time to get our program started.
Ah, it's the fake Risa again.
I, Reset, will be your commentator. Please, hold your applause.
She said hold your applause.
You're too kind, you're too kind. Well, with things starting to heat up now, the General has a few words for you. The mic's all yours, sir.
Next, a person who seems to be the host takes the girl's place. Actually, person may be incorrect. That intriguing fluffiness and tantalizingly round body.
No.
Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P1 Grand Prix! Presenting the manliest of all men!
This is more of a to-do than I thought.
I keep watching as the video with some upbeat music plays.
Is this an introduction to the contestants?
A number of girls and boys are introduced at a steady pace.
No, Queen. Elizabeth has one type, and it's a door. And I'm not making that up. I'm actually deadly serious.
I haven't seen any of their faces before, but they all appear to be persona users. Each one of them is tagged with a mocking epithet.
The carnivore who's discarded womanhood, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, the sister complex king. Are these signs of their willingness to cast aside their pride in pursuit of victory?
Maybe she's not wrong.
I wonder if they're not casting aside a little too much.
Again, she's not wrong.
This is a rather novel idea.
There's no denying that those with power are gathering here for the tournament. The video comes to a close. Since I came here on my own whim, I am obviously not featured in it. How unfortunate. I catch myself pouting my lips.
What would the intro for her to be?
Should I officially enter this as well? But if the manliest of all men are the ones called for, I cannot participate. Then again, I distinctly spotted a woman or two in the introductory video. Then I shan't concern myself with such trifling details. I shall soldier on.
Yep, so Elizabeth just decides, fuck it, I'm entering the tournament whether you like it or not, I'm crashing the party.
The next time the host appears on a monitor, I will make my entreaty. If he turns me down, I shall resort to force.
In other words, make it your own.
Very good. My mind made up, I begin my walk through the school. Battles. Oh, where might I find a battle? I look into a window nearby.
Oh my! The host himself is before my eyes.
Oh no, she's found Teddy.
Before I realize it, I am already in motion.
Pardon my dynamic entrance.
Someone's here!
Looking around, I see a piano and portraits of famous composers lining the walls.
And there's something about those classic composers like Mozart and Beethoven and Bach with the silhouetted eyes that just looks really creepy. Who'd have thought?
I see. This must be what they call a music room.
Please forgive me for startling you.
Ooh! Who are you, miss?
I am Elizabeth, a mere elevator attendant, albeit one who is currently utterly neglecting her duties.
An elevator attendant? I don't believe it! I'm having culture shock!
I mean, for once Teddy's being reasonable here. That is very much a culture shock of an outfit that Elizabeth's wearing.
I wish Junessa's elevators had such beautiful attendants too!
Of course you do, Teddy. Of course you do.
Excuse me, but may I ask your name?
Teddy! Adoy!
Adoy? Adoy? Oh. Is that supposed to be a reference to something? What?
I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating that in human language?
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. You're a savage. Bro first.
I was saying it normally. Teddy is my name, and I'm a proud bear.
I see. Teddy Bear. You have a rather creative flair to your appearance.
I wish you'd say cute instead. Though hearing a pretty lady like you say so makes my heart skip a beat.
Watching him, I cannot restrain my curiosity any longer and prod his soft fur with abandon.
Leave it alone, for fuck's sake! Ah! Don't give him even a millimeter of room.
Huh? What are you doing?
This seems to lack ventilation. How does he breathe in there? Huh, there's a zipper.
Stop! I'm ticklish. Oh no! No opening! You're embarrassing me!
They just get worse. They just get worse.
Oh, please forgive me. Curiosity almost killed the bear.
Huh? What were you planning on doing to me? You're even a tougher customer than the kids at the food court, miss.
Yes, Exeter, you're right. One does not simply give Teddy a crumb of attention. You give him nothing.
When I step away, Teddy Bear lightly smooths over his fur to try and regain his composure.
Oh, I had forgotten what I originally meant to ask because of your fine coat of hair. Teddy Bear, though I am a woman, I wish to partake in this Grand Prix.
Huh? I can't help you with that.
Oh, but are you not the host shown in the introduction video?
It's all a huge misunderstanding. That guy's an imposter. Won't you hear me out?
It seems he's faced with some kind of dilemma. I decide to lend an ear to Teddy Bear. He animatedly describes his circumstances, but his arms and legs are too short to illustrate his point. His mannerisms are so peculiar that understanding is an uphill battle, but in the end I grasp the basics.
I see. So you realized that something was amiss and came wandering in here yourself to investigate. But you fell into the imposter's trap and couldn't do a thing until a moment ago. You have my deepest sympathies.
Do I really?
No.
Anyways, everyone else is on the contestant list while I get the cold shoulder.
Is that so? Then, since we are both outcasts, let us participate of our own accord.
Our own?
May I request a match from you?
Oh yes, Teddy. You've just been challenged by a member of the Velvet Room.
That makes no sense at all. What do you mean? Ooh, maybe a hot and heavy struggle with all kinds of clinches and holds.
Can we just go straight to the 9999 damage Megiddo and skip the fight?
A one-on-one battle to the extreme.
That makes no sense. Wait a second. You look a lot stronger than me, miss.
Oh, don't be so modest.
No, I'm really not.
I'm very sorry, but the deadline for submitting a forfeit notice has expired.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
You're not sorry at all. There are things I can't do, you know. Oh, but on the other hand, if I can try scoring with you later, I might rethink this.
Scoring? I do not understand the term, but if that is your stipulation, why, I accept.
No, you don't know what you've just done.
Oh, you accept? Woohoo! I'm ready to go whenever you are.
That is, if you're still alive afterward. Well then, here goes. Your fate is in the cards.
I take my fighting stance. Something managed for a show of force is simple, straightforward, and so beautiful.
Yes, Queen, he does have no options. You're absolutely correct. Much like Narukami with the special chocolate. And I'm hoping I can kick his arse next to all. Let's see.
Finally.
That's annoying. He just threw a fish at me. I couldn't get near him. I actually can't hit him. Oh, fuck. Never mind, we'll do a reload. We spoke too soon. No, it's cool, it's fine, don't worry about it. And I've got my bookmark, thank you. Let's pick it up again. Thank you very much, let's go. Problem was, it was like all the range attacks couldn't get near him. It took like half of the life bar away at the start of the fight. They say gag characters are always a pain in the arse. It doesn't help that he can like throw projectiles from really long distances that make no sense. It's like, you know, the fish and the TV, he's just able to pull them out of his arse. There you go, gotcha. And I even juggled him afterwards because I could. Thank you very much.
The road to dating is steep. Ugh.
He calls it a road to dating? I guess he likes physical... I'm not going down the rabbit hole. I'm moving on.
With an exaggerated groan, Teddy Bear collapses. Or rolls down to be more precise.
Teddy Bear, you truly are an intriguing creature.
Hearing this, Teddy Bear springs back to his feet.
Are you interested in me?
Though you aren't human, you fight against your fate and wish to be with humans. I have witnessed one other case who bore such a fate in the past.
Huh?
You made a choice and decided how you wish to live. That is marvelous, Teddy Bear.
Marvelous? Me? Does that mean you're still okay with me trying to score with you?
That is not what it means.
No. Completely correct.
Teddy Bear loses his balance for some unknown reason and falls over.
No! The way you shoot down my attempts reminds me of Yuki-chan.
Yuki-chan? Is this an acquaintance of yours?
Yuki-chan is a very precious friend of mine.
You have friends.
No, he doesn't. He has people who put up with him. I'm being very, very harsh on Teddy. And it's deserved.
Actually, everyone who is in that video are my friends. But I can't forgive them for having all the fun. I'll make them buy me a tasty treat for this.
I see. May I ask you something? Who would you consider the strongest among your friends?
That's a nice theory. I like that one. As they say, you want someone to pretend they like Teddy just to yeet him into a dog park. That'd be quite funny.
Well, Sensei, of course. He's the manliest of all men.
Sensei. If I recall correctly, that is the name of a governing class within a school, wielding the power of life and death over its students. Yes, that does indeed sound like the name of a strong warrior.
Sensei's our leader.
He sounds strong, but he seems to be unconnected to the former guest I am searching for. But as Teddy Bear speaks of his friend called Sensei, he wears a beaming expression. They must be connected with a truly strong bond.
Yep, even the game agrees with you there, Queen, about you considering him a friend.
Inwardly, I am surprised. Though he is adorable.
No, he's not.
This teddy bear most likely used to be something similar to a shadow. I am very curious about anyone who could form a bond with such a being. Thinking about it that way makes me interested in him as well.
Oh, that was quite helpful. Thank you.
Once the tournament's over, you should come hang out at Juness sometime.
Juness?
It's a place where Don Yosuke and I work.
Don Yosuke? Don? Interesting.
It's huge. You can eat food there, and they have candy, toys, and sexy bikinis too.
Oh. That sentence is all kinds of wrong. Yeah, you can read that in many ways, and I'm not going to entertain them.
What a paradise on earth.
No, Elizabeth, don't encourage him.
It seems there is still much I do not know about in your world. Well then, if you'll excuse me, I must get going now.
Be careful!
I bow politely. Teddy Bear waves back with a big smile. Now, though I decided to participate on my own, how should I proceed from here? I don't have a good understanding of this building's layout after all. I try going in and out of the building to test various paths, but I don't get anywhere.
It may have come to this.
I rear back my head and inhale deeply as I can.
Bring out the next opponent! No one heeded my call. I suppose repeating that line isn't enough.
My shoulders sag slightly and I concentrate on the area nearby. I sense an unexpected presence.
Ha! There is someone closer by than I had expected. What a reunion this will be. I'm starting to feel tingly.
Okay. So it's going to be one of the P3 casts because it's a reunion.
There is no need for me to keep searching for an opponent, since one is already nearby. I trace the presence and proceed down the hallway. When I reach what appears to be an entryway, I can hear what sounds like voices quarrelling. One of the voices is Teddy Bear, or rather the sham host, General Teddy.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! What a fight! No No wonder you're an anti-shadow weapon.
I take no joy at all from your praise.
As I move forward, I find myself breaking into a run. Soon afterward, the voice's owner enters my field of vision. Just as I thought, that unmistakable figure, she's a guest I hosted in my life as a resident. If I recall correctly, her name is Aigis. Upon closer inspection, she's aiming her weapon at General Teddy upon the monitor.
Pointing your weapon at a monitor isn't very scary. But anyways, your next opponent is...
Ah, if I don't act now, the match will start without me. I must prevent General Teddy from speaking for the time being until my business is completed. Again, before I realize it, I am already in motion.
Oh no! Pardon my bold entrance. Huh? Oh, the monitor's completely shattered. Who would do such a thing?
A strange intruder has shown up.
Oh my. I thought we were having a touching reunion. How unfortunate that you would refer to me as a strange intruder.
A reunion? I don't recall ever meeting anyone so odd.
Really, Aigis? Really?
She who governs power. Does that ring any bells for you?
Huh? Wait. Are you the one I met in that blue room then? Your entrance just now was very different from how I remembered your behavior, so I didn't recognize you. But you're...
To be fair to Aigis, in the answer you didn't get to do any of the social events with Elizabeth, so it makes sense that she wouldn't associate this personality with her.
Eridanus' son.
Eridanus? Is that how she thinks it's Elizabeth? Eridanus? My mind's blown, I've got no answers to that one.
No. Elixir? Rengi?
In any case, I never dreamed that I'd meet you here.
That goes for myself as well. It's been a long time since I saw you. But why are you here? What about your duties of governing power?
I am currently in gross abandonment of my duties.
That was a very straightforward answer.
Considering the circumstances here, I'd like to test your strength as well.
I excitedly flip through the pages of the compendium.
What? Please, wait a moment. Does that mean you wish to fight me?
From what I've heard, in certain cultures in your world, one lets one's fists do the talking. Perhaps you could think of it as a sporty, modern, and extreme way of greeting one another.
That sounds like the kind of thing a bunch of jocks would do at college.
I don't understand at all.
You seem to have become strong beyond all recognition. I'd like to see your power for myself, to broaden my horizons.
You're not wrong, Queen. Elizabeth does sound way too proud of the fact that she was like, I'm out of here. Igor's probably like, you get back here, and she just went, nope, I'm gone.
Will you grant my shameless request?
I still don't understand. But does this mean your wish will be fulfilled if I agree to fight you? If that's really what you want. Will you mind if I don't hold back?
I couldn't ask for anything more. I, Elizabeth, will fight you with all the strength at my disposal. Now, let us begin.
Ah, settling matters through a show of force is simple, straight. Pardon me. I said that once already.
She's all too self-aware. Like she's just talking to the TV. Right, I've got to see if I can figure out some new moves for Elizabeth, because that fight with Teddy wasn't much fun.
Final.
My attack. 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 This one will hurt. This is severe impact. Here. Persona. Here. My attack.
That little boomerang attack's quite nasty. It's like she's throwing the pages of the book as a bladed boomerang. That's not a bad little way to get some quick combo breaks.
You're strong.
Aigis crouches down with an annoyed expression.
Oh no, I was surprised myself. It's been a while since I fought with all my power.
I close my eyes and reminisce. Just as I had expected, she has grown more powerful than before. Aigis is not human. She has an artificial body, making her a sort of mechanical maiden.
Yeah, mechanical maiden. That's one way of thinking of it.
She was originally created as a tool to accomplish a set goal with established abilities, but by gaining a heart, she forged her own destiny. She did this with the power that can only be gained by those with emotions, the power of bonds.
Now there is one massive plot hole so far in this game, and it involves Aigis. Why is she using Athena? Because it's canon to the answer. And what happens at the start of the answer? Athena transmogrifies. Aigis should be using Orpheus.
Her nature shifted from one directed by others to the one who chooses for herself. She was no longer merely acting, but living. This shift caused a miracle, and she overcame her artificial origins to attain what could be called life. Some have had talent of turning bonds into great strength by forming a contract through intense desire. We residents of the Velvet Room refer to this talent as the wild card, and it has at times changed the course of history.
Well, the thing is, Queen, you couldn't fuse Athena. Unless you're playing Persona 5 and have the DLC, of course. So, it's the only time you can fuse Athena. So, it makes sense if she fused her, but at the same time, the Persona transmogrified, so I'm not so sure.
Even I, who served as a resident for a long time, only encountered a few with that power. She is one of them.
I now have a wish of my own. Though it may take vast oceans of time for it to come true. Perhaps one day you will accompany me on the same journey.
What do you mean?
If our destinies truly do cross, you will eventually understand.
Yes, it's been a couple of years, I think. It's been 2 years, according to the story I've seen. So the answer took place a few months after the original game, Persona 3. And then I think it's 2 years to Arena.
Aigis' expression shows that she does still not understand. But that is fine for now.
By the way, how have your friends been?
Huh? Oh, they're all well. Several of them are here right now.
Here comes the radio message.
Suddenly, a staticky voice echoes from the broken monitor speaker, interrupting our conversation. It seems I was not thorough in my destruction.
Testing. It's finally getting through. Hey, you! The one who's not on the roster! Who are you? Why are you gumming up the works?
It's that bear.
If you keep messing with my Grand Prix, I'll make you...
I snap the fingers of my right hand with a flourish. The speaker explodes. I'm sure that the announcement will bother us no more now.
She just used Mega DeLorean to shut the speaker up. Amazing.
It seems I have finally finished it off.
Oh my! Flames have suddenly burst from the speakers. How dreadful.
So this is why I love Elizabeth. She's great.
That was 180% you're doing.
Well, yes, and?
Such repeated meddling. It seems I have a bit of a score to settle with the host, too. Well then, I will be going now. Please be careful.
Very savage, so yes, incredibly savage.
Oh, wait. There is a rule in this tournament against the loser of a fight moving on.
Is there? Well, Considering that I entered myself into the tournament, I do not think you count as a defeated contestant. That is only conjecture, though.
You entered yourself, yet you're going to settle a score with a host for complaining about you?
Huh, details.
I smile cheerfully in return and leave the area. Ah, truly, that was one of my better smiles.
I cannot believe that even Elizaabeth's son came to this world. That's it! Her name was Elizaabeth's son. I finally remember.
Who are you talking to? She's gone.
Eventually, I reach the room known as the announcement room. When I approach the door, I sense power from within. It seems the real host is here, and not on some monitor. I haven't encountered that persona user known as Sensei yet, but thinking about it, I would expect him to win his matches until reaching here. It may be easier to wait than to search aimlessly for him. Upon closer inspection, the door is slightly open. There are people inside.
I sense 3 people.
I cautiously sneak up to the door and peek inside.
What a shame. You gave it a try, but there's no way anyone would understand you.
Huh? That is that teddy bear imposter. The student council president is here too. It seems the false teddy bear's tone is much harsher than before.
Oh, I'm sorry, Queen. Fine, I won't interrupt Aigis monologuing. She's not the antagonist. She's not just meant to start monologuing anyway.
Has he been meeting with difficulties lately?
When I look again at what's going on inside the room, a sinister aura swirls around General Teddy. A surprising transformation occurs. His silhouette forms into a shapeless lump, which resolves into the figure of the council girl.
I am Shadow, the true self.
Goodness, that false teddy bear was actually the girl's shadow. I see. It's true that suffering to this degree could cause a shadow to go berserk and affect its surroundings.
The girl's true appearance has already been exposed. It seems she was finally able to face her original nature. Surprisingly, the enemy forcing the illusion upon her was her other self. I'm glad that she has awakened to her true self, but this is a shocking and drastic turn of events.
At least one of them has to understand how I feel. Isn't that what you thought? The important part is that it's all your fault. That's not true. You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand. That ain't true! It's alright though. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did. Please stop! That's all a lie! You're not me!
Oh, here we go.
Finally! You finally said it! I'm finally free!
Well, this scene's come around quicker than I thought.
Yes! The power!
The shadow has gone berserk. At this point, it can no longer be stopped solely by the original person. Worse, the shadow has no more reason to keep its host alive. If this continues... But a third person storms onto the scene just as I am about to intervene.
Labrys!
It is a young man in a school uniform. For a moment, I am utterly captivated. Yes, she's utterly captivated. I'm not saying any more. What powerful fire he has in his eyes. On a second look, I recognize his face from the video. As I recall, his name was Kingpin Yu. He can, 'cause he's the king. No, that's not right. Sister Complex Yu. No, that sounds even further from the actual name. Narukami. Yes, that's right. It's you, Narukami.
I won't let you hurt her anymore. If you're gonna keep rampaging, I'll fight you.
Fine! Then you'll be the first to die!
Absolutely, Queen. Yep, use the Chad, so of course she's captivated.
The shadow's attack hurtles toward the young man, but he does not flinch and takes a fighting stance after smoothly evading it. Seeing his heightened determination, I detect a distinct presence about him.
That young man is a persona user too.
Ah, and that's not all. This sensation is similar to when I encountered Aigis.
His powers be...
There's no doubt about it. It's the same as hers. He too is a persona user whose awakened talent is that of the wild card. The shadow launches its next attack at the young man. The battle axe it brandishes is a cluster of steel as long as she is tall. If he truly can wield those powers, he may be able to stop such an attack, but it is not a sure thing.
This opportunity cannot be missed.
This time, I enter the room and step between the two.
What? Pardon me as I interrupt this scene.
Who are you?
You! How? I set up walls so you couldn't pass through. How did you get here?
So you cannot pass through! What is he referring to? Oh, Could it mean those invisible walls I bumped into from time to time? I suppose, thinking back, I did run afoul of such things along the way. But a little push was all it took to pass through them, so I barely paid them any heed.
Yep, Elizabeth's like, no, I've got pace added to my attacks. I'm getting through your defense.
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
The shadow and the young man both look quite perplexed. Was what I said so shocking? I take the opportunity to step towards the young man and look him straight in the face.
Ah, are you perhaps the sensei that Teddy Bear spoke of? Someone who has awakened to the power of the wild card through Velvet Room's guidance.
What? Wait, that blue outfit. Who are you?
I flash him a smile and turn my gaze towards the girl collapsed nearby. I believe he called her Labrys a moment ago.
I see. I feel that I have a good grasp on the situation now.
Then can't you tell you're in the way? Get out of here!
Shadow Labrys is triggered. She's like, get out of my scene!
I cannot do that. I came to settle some business I had with you, the tournament's host.
What business?
To be blunt. What business was it?
How should I know?
Shadow Labrys is like, stop breaking the story and get out of here!
That was harsh.
It turns out that I do not care about such trifling details after all. My apologies. Please forget my mention of business. Actually, my search for a certain individual has unexpectedly concluded, so we're done here.
Who said we're done? That's it! I'll kill you where you stand!
I wouldn't recommend it. If I may be so boastful, it would be a battle you stand no chance of winning.
Thanks, game, because I'm going to get my ass kicked now.
What?
My words must have been so humiliating that the shadow's face flushes red and it gropes for words. I ignore it in order to speak to the young man.
It's nice meeting you, by the way. I am Elizabeth. Would it ring a bell if I mentioned that I am the one who governs power?
You mean like Margaret?
Oh, do you know my older sister? I see, no wonder.
Stop ignoring me, bitch!
I shield the young man behind me and turn towards the shadow.
Please wait a moment. I must ask the one over there to leave this place before we resume.
It's you who's going to leave!
I was sure that I gave the proper warnings earlier. So it goes. Your fate is in the cards.
Shadow Labrys is Pisse She is well annoyed. So Elizabeth's power, it seems, is pissing people off.
Finally.
My attack towards you here is freeze. My attack let us have a shot. My attack here. Backing up. Let us get frozen. My attack let us here is freeze. My attack towards you here is freeze. You are seeing.
Well, to be fair, Elizabeth did say she had no chance of winning. Yeah, I think you might be right. I don't think Shadow Labrys has swore.
How could it end like this? It's all completely ruined.
The shadow falls to its knees, its will completely drained. I doubt it has strength left to attack us.
This is me?
The girl, still unable to stand, stares blankly at her own shadow. I turn around towards the young man. This P1 Grand Prix was most likely caused by the girl's shadow, manifesting her suppressed anguish. But this young man tried to reach out to her, even at the risk of his own safety. And even after seeing proof that she was the one that caused that risk.
Excuse me, but may I leave the rest of this to you? I'm ashamed to say so, but delicate persuasion is not my forte.
I understand.
Saying that quote, Elizabeth just ruined the game, just came in and just whacked it all. Enough of this shit, boom, it's done.
I agree that you don't seem like you'd be too good at it.
He really is the Chad. No one speaks to Elizabeth like that, and you've known her for a few moments. Yeah, you don't seem like you'd be good at it.
The young man walks towards Labrys, who is still at a loss for words. I have yet to have a proper conversation with him, but I sense a certain trustworthiness in his strong steps.
Miss President, or actually Labrys.
What am I supposed to do? What difference does it make if I accept this? In the end, no one's gonna understand me anyway, right?
It's true that others won't be able to easily understand your pain. But are you gonna give up after just one try at showing them? One victory or loss doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't give up. That's what I think.
I shouldn't give up?
No, you can do this. You're not alone anymore.
Labrys' eyes widen, as if just realizing the brightness of the scenery before her. The young man waits patiently for his words to sink in. After some time, Labrys finally stands up and looks towards me.
Hey, is this what you were talking about before?
I am also not human, but who you are is for you to decide. That is the power of potential that everyone holds. Even for a machine, I believe that still holds true.
You could have just said so when we first met.
Labrys isn't wrong either.
Alas, I have always had some difficulty making myself understood.
Come on now, you should go to her.
Labrys' face faces her shadow once more at the urging of the young man.
sorry I ignored you all this time. I was the one who left you all alone. No, you are me, after all. This is my persona.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you did well.
Thanks.
Aigis' music, Heartful Cries playing again.
There's no need to thank us. It was all you.
Seeing Labrys smile, I can't help but grin as well. But her relief only lasts for a moment before the strength drains from her body and she stumbles.
Labrys!
The young man hastily catches her.
There's no need to worry. She must have reached the limits of her stamina.
He props the unconscious Labrys down against the wall.
The strength that binds hearts together. No matter how many times I witness it, its beauty never fades. May I borrow some of your time?
The young man looks over his shoulder in surprise, but when our gazes cross, he turns as if understanding.
Are you a resident of the Velvet Room too?
Well, in a way. I have abandoned my duties at the moment in order to see through a desire of mine.
What did you want with me?
I calm myself before opening my mouth once more.
In order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. But it is most likely not power used to fight. It is something else. I wish to understand what that is. The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
So in other words, she wants to fight him.
I don't really understand.
Put more bluntly, I wish for you to show me your potential.
Yeah, I'm with you, Queen. I think that's what's happened. I think she wants to find a way to free Makoto.
The young man considers everything I said, but eventually sighs before responding.
I get it now.
You don't mind?
Would you back down if I said no? After what you said before, I don't think you'd back off that easy.
Touché.
I take a slightly defensive stance.
There is no need to be lenient. I invite you to approach this battle as if you intend to kill me.
I didn't think I could win any other way.
Oh, Queen, come on. Saying you have to travel to the Phantom Thieves. Or maybe cross world lines and go to the world of Danganronpa. I'm actually surprised that still hasn't been announced. I'm sure at some point they would have done a promo game crossing Persona and Danganronpa over. Persona's crossed over with Love Live, Blaze Blue, Hatsune Miku, and yet it's not done Danganronpa, the game that it directly inspired.
Thank you. Well then, here goes. Your fate is in the cards.
I mean, seeing Monokuma do something to Teddy is the one reason why I want it to happen. Okay. Evidently the Chad is more powerful than I thought.
We will see.
Yep, you reached out to the truth, but the truth kicked him in the arse.
She's so strong.
And yes, Naegi's reaction if Elizabeth came hunting for him would be quite amusing, I must agree.
I see. You do indeed have great power.
Even while saying so, I am conflicted, and my expression clouds. It's true that he was strong. He expertly wields the power of the wild card. But thinking about it, that isn't what I wanted to learn. The power of the wild card doesn't stem just from one's skill in a fight. His strength comes from his knowledge that he cannot avoid fighting to gain his desire. That strength happens to manifest as power in battle. But what I want to learn has little to do with combat. Will I ever get closer to the root of the matter with this method? But even if I find that I can't, I don't see another way. I have measured all types of strength, great and small, as the one who presides over power. I feel suddenly anxious.
Could it be that it's something I cannot understand?
Will I never be able to understand as one distant from the workings of human society? Has it been impossible from the start for my wish to be fulfilled? I then noticed the sound of footsteps.
Hey, are you okay? Oh shit, dude, what happened to you?
Yukun, are you alright? Senpai, hang in there.
It seems that once the shadow who created this place was vanquished, the rules keeping everyone trapped were nullified. These must be the friends he formed bonds with.
Yo! Did you do this? What did you do to Senpai?
One of them turns his fierce eyes on me.
You're so mean, miss! This is going too far!
Oh.
Who are you anyway? You better explain yourself!
If you did this with malign intent, we won't let you leave here so easily.
Evidently the investigation team are even more pissed off than the Shadow was.
Their anger at seeing their friend hurt. That was a new experience for me. Their bond gave birth to anger, grew into animosity, and that fury is now directed towards me. But the young man stands up.
One more time.
He requests this even though he is badly wounded. A rematch would seem to have only one possible outcome.
What?
Please, that is enough. I've already witnessed your strength.
If this ends with my defeat, it doesn't count as me showing you my potential.
But...
You shouldn't jump to conclusions. I thought I said this once today. What's important is that you don't give up after one try. You have to hang in there. My friends that I haven't seen in a while are all here. I can't just wave the white flag.
Okay, are we going to see Izanagi no Akami here all of a sudden?
The moment the young man makes his declaration, a mysterious presence fills the area. The presence surges with power and creates a whirlpool of light around him. Within that light, the young man's determination and drive instantly rekindle. Is it the new wildcard he holds? I then notice the young man's friends are standing behind him in support, all of them fixing their gaze on me as I stand perplexed. The bond that they share in their very core is echoed in their eyes. I suddenly feel as if I am confronting a fearsome giant.
I cannot believe I am seeing this.
I find myself starting to back off. My footsteps are unsteady as I go. A small dip in the floor behind me, no larger than a fingernail, throws me off balance. Surely I'm about to fall. But then, unseen arms catch me.
Are you alright?
You're...
In contrast to my utter bewilderment, she wears a calm smile. When I turn back to the young man, the surge of power has already dissipated.
Oh, come on!
I catch myself sighing in relief. Even when I review my long memory, I can recall no occasion on which I felt so overwhelmed before.
What was that just now? Do you happen to know what this power is?
I do not know the specifics, but
Yeah, because we've not purchased the DLC. That's why we don't know what the power is, people.
Aigis also turns her gaze towards you and his friends.
that must be the power of their bonds. The power that stems from not being alone. I don't know why, but I feel like I understand when I'm watching them.
The power of not being alone.
It's a power they all share. It isn't just his. Did their strong bonds turn his determination not to lose into an instant recovery for him?
That would make sense, to be fair. It's like Risei casting, what's that move she uses where you get like an instant salvation that can happen occasionally in battle?
I am suddenly reminded of a conversation I once had with my sister. If something working for them to accomplish alone, they will work together. His friends have even worked miracles at times. Those are the words I spoke to her.
What's important is that you don't give up.
It's a cliche to hear, but its wisdom is profound. I dismissed its potential judging by my standards. I almost gave up in the same way, thinking I would be unable to understand. But he refused to allow that. His power proves there is not only one standard. It is truly the strength found in numbers.
Yep, the power of friendship compels you all again, people.
So this is a bond.
When I think about the guests I met who had formed bonds, I may have focused too much on those individuals. I never took much interest in who they bonded with, or how those bonds were forged.
Oh, but I did. The moment the Cultural Fest happened in Persona 3 FES, all you people who watch me going, let me explain, will know exactly what you're talking about.
What I should be studying isn't just him, but all of them together. Not the strength of a person, but of people. That may be the lesson. It seems I am starting to find hope.
Oh god, she really is hunting for Makoto Naegi. She's looking after Hope. What have I done?
I nodded satisfaction.
Today's festivities made for quite a wonderful Grand Prix. Considering that there have been some games, I should be going, if you'll all excuse me.
I turned to make my exit.
Huh? Wait a sec, you haven't explained yourself yet! You haven't even told us your name! It's Elizaabeth!
Hey! Back here! What are you all happy for?
Who was she? Well, the odds are low that she was the mastermind behind this case.
Enough about her. Senpai's more important. We'll get you out of here in no time, so hang in there, Senpai.
It's the return. It's the return of the Risei who's all about Narukami. She's finally come back.
Teddy, get a stretcher ready.
Huh?
What are you standing around for? Move!
Guys, I'm not exactly critically injured, you know?
I think it's wonderful.
You're...
Seeing you surrounded by friends reminds me of a certain someone.
a certain someone?
There is no need to worry, everyone. His wounds are not serious. He is merely exhausted.
Oh, thank goodness. Wait, who are you?
I could have left by a shorter route, but I returned to the school's front gate and looked back at the school. The faces of the people I parted with a moment ago are called to mind. Amongst them is that young man's face. I only faced him briefly, yet I recall him with surprising vividness.
I'm sure that he will continue to increase his strength of heart. It is a given with so many friends. I am a little bit envious.
I turn the pages on the compendium and draw a magic circle in the air.
Well then, farewell.
I soundlessly pass through it and leave as if melting into the scenery. I close my eyes and my thoughts drift to the past.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth?
Hey, this is cool. We've got a memory scene from the Velvet Room inside the limo.
Elizabeth, are you listening? You seem lost in thought like that frequently of late. Could this mean that you finally began to be troubled over things, like a normal person?
How scathing of you, as usual.
Believe me, sister, I am not as bad as you. What's the matter?
My dear sister, I want to tell you a fairy tale.
What's this about?
Yeah, Margaret, I'm with you. It's like, where are you going with this?
In our world, at the far reaches of the Sea of the Soul, there stands a large door.
And not just any door. A very special door that chains back certain things.
A soul which devoted itself to sealing that door slumbers there.
Why did it do such a thing?
That soul is risking itself to prevent those who have lost sight of life's brilliance from luring the world to self-destruction. It has become the guardian of the door, of the whole world, in fact.
Yeah. More commonly known as Dorkun.
That is a very sorrowful story.
That's the shortest fairy tale ever. There wasn't even a once upon a time or anything like that. It was literally just, there's the story. If there are kids, I'm going to use that one. Put them to sleep in seconds.
My dear sister, do you think I can save that person?
I thought it was a fairy tale.
It may be impossible alone, but what if I joined forces to do it? This person's friends are capable of miracles at times.
This person you speak of, is it? I hope you're not planning to...
Oh, don't be silly, my dear sister. I told you, it was only a fairy tale.
To a certain degree, all of your stories are like fairy tales. I don't know what's troubling you, but be sure that you don't neglect your duties.
Could that be a suggestion we're going to unlock Margaret's story?
When I open my eyes again, I am in the Sea of the Soul, a world where countless bright lights shine like a nebula.
Velvet, oh velvet.
I begin singing a song, but now that I'm here again, I feel a hint of loneliness. I smile inwardly at myself. What happened today was very fruitful for me, though it came with a certain realization. I still don't have anyone in the world outside the Velvet Room that I wish to form a bond with. My lack of a hunger for such things may have prevented me from understanding.
No, that's not quite right either.
Lack of hunger? That's not it. In truth, it was within my power, but I was turning my gaze away from it. After all, I didn't begin this journey only to find the means to defeat that monster. I thought by defeating it, I could see him again.
To think I was unconsciously afraid of something and keeping my distance from it. That is quite a surprise.
The mechanical girl, the young man today, and my old guest all had their own desires from within the heart. I should make myself just as resolved if I am to achieve my desire as well.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say. So Julian Robertson Jimmy is saying Elizabeth game when? We're almost done. We're almost at the end of her playthrough. As in a game about Elizabeth? Is there one? I honestly don't know. And Queen, if Elizabeth's an introvert, why did she do all the crazy stuff she did in Persona 3 FES? That doesn't make sense.
I will face it unblinkingly and accept it. I will admit that the loneliness in me arose from leaving my old residence. The sick feeling of loneliness will surely torment me and cause me grief forever. But if I harden my resolve to allow for embracing that pain, I'm certain that my yearning heart will yield great power. Bonds. The other half of being alive, along with death. Just as death gives life its shine, I'm sure loneliness will shed new light on the question of bonds.
That's a morbid way of looking at it. In order to understand friendship and comradeship, Give yourself isolated loneliness? That sounds all rounds of fucked up.
That is when I will attain the power of bonds in the truest sense. Certainly I will not achieve that miracle alone.
Though I cannot defeat that monster now, I may in time gain the power to truly erase it.
He must have felt that hunger as well. That is why he tried to protect his bonds with his life, leading him into the universe. I smiled to myself again. As one who leads others, I have only now gained enlightenment about the true meaning of bonds. And at that moment,
the Fool Arcana.
A single card drifts down before my eyes. Hovering before me like a butterfly floating its wings is the card of the Fool. It bursts into pearls of light in my hand.
To think the day would come where I would behold my own arcana and not that of a visitor's.
The Fool. It represents freedom, purity, possibility, and...
Okay, I got it, Julian. Yeah, it would be interesting to play a game as Elizabeth. I think that'd be pretty awesome. If they did it as kind of like a wandering journey kind of style, almost like an old school adventure game where you're exploring new worlds to try. I could definitely see that working.
And the beginning of a journey.
Because Elizabeth's my favourite Velvet Room attendant, so seeing more Elizabeth's always good.
It may be that my journey has finally truly begun. The Fool. Well, I am aware that I still do foolish things.
Yes, absolutely.
I give a wry smile and look up. My gaze is fixed on what lies ahead. It is an enormous door that looms like a small mountain in the center of the void.
Please wait for me. One day I shall surely see my wish come true.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. They've actually even included the artwork of him. You can actually see him right in the center. He's microscopic, but he's there.
I briskly turn on my heel away from the door. My walk begins.
Velvet, oh velvet.
That's a really cool piece of artwork, actually, with her holding the card. That's actually a really nice design.
My bright song will no longer have mournful undertones.
My master has a large nose.
I wonder if she changed the lyrics, because obviously Margaret did the My Master Has a Very Long Nose.
I have yet to determine a sure path. There's no assurance that my wish will come true. Whether those I encounter today will truly share something with me isn't certain either. But I have hope now. And that is what lets me go on.
And indeed it is the Fool card queen. I was literally just saying the story, but it is Arcana number 0, the Fool.
This time, I can head towards the future I desire without losing my way.
And I'm guessing that might be the credits, unless there's something else that's happening. Let's find out. Yep. Them's the credits. So Elizabeth's story was done in one take, I think, which is interesting, so all the others had the cliffhanger. So she's an interesting character to fight as Elizabeth. The mechanics are a bit unusual. So let's skip the credits, because we can.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. Now then, why don't you introduce yourself?
So apparently Teddy's commentary is now available. But it says we're 97% complete. So somewhere there's another 3% to find to get the complete story. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to have to look it up. But on that note, that's where we're going to call it for tonight, because we've gone through the final arcs, all the main stories appear to be done. There's just that final 3%. The mystery deepens.
Persona ability
Now,
is the
I am going to be
power
back on
control
the
one's
Wednesday
environment.
evening, but I am going to be joined by Nerdy Hound because it's the night before we go away to our con, and we're going to be doing another one of our crazy wrestling game streams. So be here to check out on 8 PM BST on Wednesday evening, and after that, we'll be taking a break, purely because we have to get through one final bit, and that is our con. So, for now, I'm going to take a break there, and I'll see you all on Wednesday evening. But until then, thank you all very, very much for watching. And good night.